Today we're going to be taking a look at spider egg sacs. Ugh. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so the first thing I did is I went out to my garage and found a spider's web with an egg sac on it. I then extracted that egg sac with some difficulty. Now this web I believe belonged to a black widow. I don't see the black widow anymore, but I did see it a couple days ago, and so this is probably a black widow egg sac. But this is the egg sac we're going to take a look at and see if we can find anything in there. Our egg sac is now under the microscope, and we, even with our eyes, can see these somethings inside of it. But let's get under that microscope and see what we see. Alright, we are now under the microscope, and we can see this is the edge of the egg sac around the circle. And we see all these thread-like structures, and that is spider webbing that makes up the egg sac. Now let's see what was inside of this thing. So we can see all these little yellow ball-like structures. And I believe these are the spider eggs that will eventually turn into the spiders. Now I don't know if this sac is fertile or if it's dead. And the reason I wonder is because spiders are supposed to hatch between 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 depending on the species. But I believe this thing has probably been in my garage longer than 4 weeks, so it's probably dead or infertile eggs. Let's see here. Yeah, this should have, because I saw it a couple weeks, maybe like 2 weeks ago, and so this should have had more development in it. So I'm assuming that this is probably a dead egg sac. I'm going to rip it open and we will see if we can see anything interesting inside. But remember to stay tuned to the end of the video, because we're going to be looking at a spider and checking out its heartbeat, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to look more into this egg sac first. So I have now cut open the egg sac and opened it up to where we can have a better look. And here are those yellow ball-like structures that are supposed to turn into the spiders. And I wanted to show you this. This is kind of interesting. This looks like a bunch of undeveloped spiders. You have the legs here and the abdomen. So it looks like these spiders didn't develop all the way. I'm pretty sure those are legs. At least some of them are. Now it's possible that these eggs died from crazy weather changes that we had here in the area, going from warm to freezing cold, and so it's possible the eggs died and the mother realized they weren't going to hatch, and so she kind of just abandoned them, and we're just looking at dead spiders. This right here looks very much like a spider, with all the legs, the abdomen, and the thorax. Anyway, let's look at the living spider now, and let's look at that heartbeat. So I saw this lady with her BBL walking around my garage, and I decided let's take a look at her under a microscope. So let's get to it. We're going to start by looking at the underside of the spider. So we're looking at underneath the abdomen right now. And right here we have a leg, and at the end of every leg you have these little claw-like structures used for climbing surfaces. Now I don't know why this spider looks so slimy. I didn't have to use water to keep it from moving, it just is holding still. So I don't know why it looks all wet and slimy. Here we have the spinneret, and this is the area that's webbing is shot out of. Now I'm going to be moving back and forth and looking at different parts of the spider. And so let's jump back and forth here. So we are still on the underside of the abdomen, and you have this interesting structure here, and I see movement in this C-like structure. And I'm wondering if it has to do with the lungs of the spider, because the lungs are right in this area. So it may be an inlet for air to get inside the spider. My guess is that this is the oviduct, the hole that will release the eggs once they've been fertilized. Another thing I wanted to show you is that and it's easier to see this on the legs, but if you look real close right here, you can see blood flowing through the spider. Now, the legs are one of the easiest spots to see this, and if you check out my other video where I looked at a spider, you can see it a lot more clear on that video. But you can see it here too on this spider, and I just wanted to point that out. I have now flipped the spider over and we're looking at the top of the abdomen, and I wanted to point this out right before we go look at the heartbeat. You can see this white substance or fluid inside of the spider's abdomen, and it's moving back and forth. And I thought that was kind of interesting and wanted to point that out. We are now looking at the heartbeat of the spider. Right here, this is the edge of it. And this is not sped up at all, so this is the actual rate at which the heart is beating. And so this is the heart of the spider. Spiders don't have the same type of heart as humans, so it's not going to look the same. But this right here is the spider's heart. And you can see that pulse. I think this is so fascinating. Before I end this video, I want to take a look at the spider's eyes. I always find those to be fascinating and creepy looking. So let's take a look at the spider's eyes. If you are enjoying today's video, please subscribe if you are not, and comment below what you would like to see under the microscope. And let's go take a look at those eyes. We have found the spider's eyes. There they are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 eyes, all 8 there. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Please remember to subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.